You're watching E.T.N. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video we're going to do our review for The Walking Dead. Yes, The Walking Dead. I had to watch the episode a second time last night. That's why my review's going up now. So, look, let's get right to it. Everybody thinks Glenn is dead and this and stuff. I got to tell you, after watching it a second time, no, I don't think so. Just the way the episode played out after that, it just doesn't seem like the kind of death The Walking Dead would give to one of its main cast members. You understand what I'm getting at? And also things you got to take into consideration is the way that Nick fell on Glenn. He fell off the dumpster with Glenn and fell on top of him. So I really don't think Glenn is dead at all. I really don't. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. There's a lot of people out there right now that still think he's dead, and a lot of people are just dreading this and dreading that. I don't think we're going to get an answer for a while. But in my heart of hearts, I don't think he's dead quite yet. I'm not quite there to full belief until I get 100% evidence that he is dead. So we're going to have to hang on that. I don't know what you guys think. Definitely let me know. Overall, it was another solid episode. We're still in that same day. We're still have that back and forth where Rick and his group are trying to control the herd while Carol and Morgan are dealing with the wolves in Alexandria and everything in between. And we see more cannon fodder dying, more people from Alexandria who just don't know how to deal with the world outside. And because they don't know how to deal with it, they look at Rick and his decisions and think he's crazy. And you know what? In a world like this, you have to make crazy decisions if you're going to survive. And some of those decisions require killing people and also being cold-hearted to people who die within your group. You know, for example, when Taylor died and Rick was like, shh, and every person in this episode died, where you could see Rick, he would end them, you know, they'd be dead or near death. He'd finish it off, make sure they don't turn, and then he takes their belongings. It looks cold. It looks fucked up. But in this world, that's how it is. The person who's there that's dead is not going to need those items anymore. and you can see the Alexandrians are thinning. You know, we're getting to a core group of Alexandrians who are reluctantly moving into Rick's group. But for the most part, there's a lot of fodder being left behind. So, and it was very sad to see that man die who left a note for his loved one, his wife. And he was going to give the note to Michonne. Michonne wrote on her arm, "You're going to get back home," only for him to die being consumed by a series of walkers. And Michonne couldn't even grab the note as one of the walkers stepped on the note and go from there. But we see that Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham are still trying to walk the herd. Rick, excellent job dealing with those wolves, but now he's in a bit of a situation himself while he's in the Winnebago as another portion of the herd is converging on him. So a lot of things happen in this episode, very action-packed. One thing I like about this episode the most, it's one of the first episodes in a long time that really made the walkers scary. I mean, they were coming from all corners. And we all know that walkers in and of themselves are not scary at all. You know, any average person at this point in the show can deal with them, unless you're from Alexandria. But when they're in herds like that, you see how dangerous they can become. How soon they can close you off and force you into a corner where there's no escape. Even if you had an arsenal like Commando, you know, when you're facing a herd of these monsters that are just consistently walking and walking, you know, it's not like fighting humans. They'll take cover, they'll run off, they'll spread out. These guys just keep coming and coming. No matter how many you blast off, there's 100 more behind them, and that's what makes them so scary. And I like the fact that in these first 3 episodes, they've really taken the walkers and they've utilized them in such a way to make them scary again, because that's what people have been really wanting. Even people who love the show want to see more people, you know, more walker action. And that's what we're getting these first 3 episodes, along with crazy serial killers, that being the wolves. So now, interesting situation. We know that during this episode was what was going on in Alexandria. We know now the outcome. We know that in Alexandria, they got things under control. We know that the herd is still being taken to wherever Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham are leading them to. And Rick and other, you know, smaller group is trying to make it back to Alexandria and at the same time get the herds to go back, deal with the herd, And now the question is, what becomes of Glenn if he is alive? Even if he is alive, how will he get out of that situation? Some people will argue, well, he'll be covered in blood and he'll be able to walk through the walkers. Oh, not so fast. The blood he's covered in is fresh blood. If he gets up, they're just going to attack him. So he literally would have to sit there and wait until Nick turns, which is not a very comforting deal when you think about it. If Nick turns while on top of Glenn, then Glenn's going to have to deal with that. There is a dumpster right there. He could try and wiggle his way underneath, but even if Glenn is alive, which I really do think he is, I don't think, I don't know how he's going to get out of it. I don't know how he's going to get out of it. The only other way I can see him getting out of it is that something happens where there's another large noise and the herd is drawn away from it. Something like that could have happened already. The way they're setting up these first 3 episodes, certain things are happening in other parts of each episode where we see the following week where that takes place and how prior episode events react to that, if you get what I'm saying, if you're with me on that. So very interesting. But that was the big thing of the episode, was the potential of Glenn dying. And I'm going to keep it at potential because, yes, there is still a very good chance he could have died there. But I don't know. After seeing it a second time and seeing the way they fell and seeing the angle at which Glenn was being eaten, supposedly, it doesn't look correct. It doesn't look correct. And based on some of the prior deaths of big characters, none bigger than Glenn, mind you, they usually are sent off in a very emotional way. This wasn't very emotional. It was so sudden. It was so abrupt and in some ways so cold that I don't think they're going to send them off like that. But I could be wrong. Otherwise, another solid episode, action-packed. I love the walkers and how deadly they are in this episode, how scary they are when you see the herds of them turning each corner. Michonne and that small group, how they slowly, as they try to progress, each one is being picked off one by one, just like Rick said, and, trying to come to the conclusion that, hey, look, this is the world now. And you still see that conflict with some Alexandrians in terms of what Rick does. Those people who have any kind of a problem with how Rick does things and how that group does things, those are the ones who are not going to live. Those are the ones who are not going to live. We know this, you know this, I know this. If you watch the show for 6 seasons, you know this. So we'll see what happens next week. Looks like it's going to be Morgan focused, which tells me that we're not going to get an answer to whether or not Glenn is dead. I think they're going to hang us on the ropes on that one for a while, maybe even until the mid-season finale. We'll just have to wait and see. What do you guys think? Do you think Glenn bit the dust? Do you think he was eaten alive? I personally don't. Let me know why you think so. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.